Hi, it's Dick Shepard from Paperback Novel, and it's a Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful, sunny February day, and I'd like to do a small visual introduction to my home city of Jersey City. Now, if you look at the clock, that's a landmark, a Jersey City landmark and a Hudson River landmark. It's the clock that was outside the Colgate complex. That was a huge presence on the waterfront. Just the actual Colgate plant was to the right of where the clock is presently, obviously obscured by the building. But in deference to the manufacturing history of Jersey City, and in deference to the fact that it's a beautiful clock, the clock was put on the waterfront in a very prominent location. And that location, just to the left of the clock, is a very historical spot. That's where the Morris Canal terminated. That was the eastern terminus of the Morris Canal, and the canal ran from that basin. It ran alongside the dark structure behind the clock, which used to be called the Sugar House, and it's now some Chi-Chi condominiums. But then it ran further west into Jersey City before it turned south, and it ran alongside all the way south along Jersey City's waterfront behind Liberty State Park. And then at the Bayonne border just about, it hooked around before turning north and then coming up the west side of Jersey City and crossing the Hackensack River and then going into Newark, and then it would obviously be behind all the buildings, and then it would run through Newark and Bloomfield and Clifton, and it would be running all the way out there past all of the buildings in Jersey City, and then it would finally run up through Clifton, and then it would all the way out by those distant hills. That's Garrett Mountain. That's Patterson is in that vicinity, way out there. That's probably about 14 or 15 miles as the crow flies. Route 80 runs out that way. But the canal swung around that mountain before going up to its highest point at Lake Apacon. So that was a little bit of the canal history for Jersey City. Yeah. That tall building, it's an Art Deco structure. I think it's the third tallest building now in Jersey City. It's 101 Hudson Street. It's a commercial building. It's a beautiful building. It has echoes of the old Jersey City Medical Center because of the decoration at the top of the building. It's a stone building. And that building, directly in front of it, the lighter structure is a commercial building also. And I think at the foot of that lighter structure is where Jersey City has its September 11th memorial. And the streetway between that smaller, lighter structure and the blue-green structure with the pinnacle, that's Hudson Street. And pardon me, that's not Hudson Street, but if you go down that block into that area, the Jersey City light rail runs right through that intersection, and that particular intersection has a little bit of a square atmosphere, and that is one of the most strikingly visual streetscapes in Jersey City because of the nature of the 101 Hudson Street building combined with some of the older nearby buildings. It's a very striking streetscape right there. We can't see it in this picture, but at the foot of the blue-green building, that's One Exchange Place. The J. Owen Grundy Pier, which has just been renovated, it's a beautiful, beautiful on-the-water park, is located right there. Just to the right of One Exchange Place, the tall glass building, directly behind that building, the white structure that's hidden, except for the top, that's a Trump building. Donald Trump plans two buildings at that location. That's the first one, and so far that's about 60% occupied. That building is the second tallest building in New Jersey. We can't see the first tallest building. It's just to the left of these. It's the Goldman Sachs building. We can't see that. If you look directly in front of that glass building, the pyramid-shaped buildings right on the water, the double kind of ziggurat shapes, that's Harborside Terminal. That used to be a huge warehouse and transportation hub. It's now offices, and if you look between the two ziggurats, there's three dark shapes of smokestacks. Those smokestacks are from the old Hudson and Manhattan Railroad, currently the Path. That's the old powerhouse for the Path, for the entire train system, or at least the New Jersey portion of it. Directly behind those smokestacks, you'll see a little steeple. That steeple is for St. Anthony of Padua Church, and we can't see the steeple to its neighbor, but the Holy Rosary steeple would be just to the left of that, if the building, the intervening building, wasn't there. And just above the green steeple is the white General Square Transportation Center, the Port Authority building at General Square, which is where my Path commute terminates. So when the Path train comes into the World Trade Center site, it comes from and it goes back. It terminates at that. Well, that's one of the stops before it goes on to Harrison and Newark. If you go a little bit further north into that streetscape, those buildings are the beginning of. There's a couple of commercial buildings. There's some hotels there, and that's the beginning of the residential portion of Jersey City's waterfront. And that's just a little tour of what I can see from my window here on a beautiful Friday afternoon, and to be posted at paperbacknovel.com. Thank you.